Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of ChakraBoosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters Healing Tattoos. And now in 2021, I'm also the creator of CirclingSpace.com. I wanted an online place where we could get together and grow together with more authentic communication and connection. I'm there for 3 live circles per week, along with other facilitators from across the globe. And I'd love for you to join us there, so I'm leaving you freebies below. Check those out. Now, welcome to your energy forecast. It's an astro energy forecast for May 2021. Whew! In the Northern Hemisphere, it's spring, and it feels like it. There's such an opening in this month. We've got some real things to highlight, such as our first lunar eclipse of the year. There's also this big event that happens only once every 12 years of Jupiter coming into Pisces and being in this great spiritual blessing type energy for 2.5 months. So that'll be the second half of May. And then we also have Mercury going into retrograde, this time in the sign that it's at home in. So we're talking about Mercury in Gemini, its domicile. So what's that going to do, the retrograde? Well, stick around and find out. So let's start, as I always do, with 3 themes. Then I'm going to share several dates. So you'll see me looking at my notes here. I can't quite remember all of it. And then at the end, I'm going to draw 2 goddess cards. And I've made it a goal of mine today to go a little bit faster. Okay, so replay if it seems to go by too fast. But sometimes I know these can be real long, and I have quite a few dates. So I'm going to clip along today. Are you ready? Our first theme is a new romance with Mama Earth, with Mother Earth. This is very Taurian, but I feel like this year it's particularly pertinent because of all the lockdown that the world's been experiencing. So feel into this new romance you can have with nature, with Mother Nature, with the earthly pleasures. This is Taurus season, and in the Northern Hemisphere, that means spring, that means newness. We've also got a 1 universal month. You simply take the year and the month. So we have 52021, which is a 10, which is a 1. And 10 is completions and 1 is beginning. So whenever there's a 10 that then is 101, I feel like 10 is the alpha and the omega. Like, how often do we count to 10? Like kids playing, they count to 10, right? It's the alpha and the omega. So I feel like we've got a real sense of new beginning here this month, that we can really let go of some shackles, and those shackles are the ending. They are the 10, the completion. So there's a lot of completion energy too. So that's our first theme, new romance with Mother Earth and earthly pleasures, and getting out and getting in the dirt and enjoying this physical planet. The second theme is change and communication. They're both big because we've got a real highlight on the mutable signs here. Now, for the majority of the month, the sun is in Taurus, which is a fixed sign. I get that. But we have some real important things happening in Gemini, super important things I'll be sharing on the dates here. And we have our first lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and we have Jupiter going into Pisces that it only does once every 12 years, and it's very auspicious, very auspicious. So Gemini, Pisces, and Sagittarius are the mutable signs. And even though we're in a Taurian sun month, we're looking at this really good, flexible, mutable energy. The only mutable sign that isn't featured here so much is Virgo. So 3 out of the 4 changeable and communicative signs are here. Finally, thirdly, I've already mentioned it, but I want to pull it out as a theme, spiritual blessings, like raining down from heaven. If we can stay grounded and not get into a Neptunian, like a dreamlike fog, if we can stay grounded, Jupiter going into Pisces, which is also in its domicile, in its home, is so benevolent. It's so auspicious. And not just for spiritual things, for pretty much anything, and depending on where it is in your chart and what it's doing specifically in your chart, and you can check that out with an astrologer. But for all of us in general, it just should be an energy of hope, an energy of possibility, an energy of I can bring my dreams down into reality if we stay grounded. And because it's a Taurian month and we're creating this new romance with Mother Earth, we're going to keep our feet on the ground. So those are the three themes. Let's look at the dates. The first two dates are real light. I just wanted to mention on the 3rd of the month, Mercury goes into Gemini. Now, Mercury is at home in Gemini. That's its domicile. So it is exalted in Gemini, some would say. It feels comfortable in Gemini. It's all about communication, ideas, thinking, brilliance. So it's coming in and it's going to be in there all month. And this is a really good thing. Okay, so I just wanted to note that communications are going to loosen up and be strong here. If you want them to be. Everything is a caveat, right? It's about what attention and consciousness you bring to it. Then on the 8th, we have Venus going into Gemini, entering Gemini. And Mercury is throat energy. Gemini is throat energy. Mercury and Gemini are like this, right? In domicile. So it's a home place for both of them. Venus is heart. And when heart matches with the throat, Venus going into Gemini, it's love getting a voice, pleasure getting a voice. Venus also is the ruling planet of Taurus. So there's Taurus again. I feel like there's just this Taurian, Gemini, Venus, just this beautiful thing happening relationally that's giving us the chance to really appreciate Mother Earth more than we ever have before. Taurus is about values as well, so perhaps changing our values if we've devalued earthly pleasures or our green world at all. We can come alive and become more aware of that. And that just feels really good. So I wanted to bring that in, that Gemini, these two important personal planets, Mercury and Venus, that we feel a lot, are going to come into Gemini. So we're going to get this opportunity to start communicating from a really alive place, a very empowered place, and a place that is both heart and throat. Can you feel that? Okay, so our first big event, I've got to look around here a little bit, is our new moon in Taurus at 11:59 Pacific on the 11th. The 11th. It's a new moon in Taurus. Now, Taurus is so much about Earth and the love of Earth, the feminine love of Earth, right? Again, Venus rules Taurus. That this is literally, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere, this is literally a time to plant seeds. If you don't already know it, the new moon is the new beginning. I love that it's on the 11th, on the 1-1. Two 1-1s, beginning anew, but put them together and you get divine feminine, the sacral, the 2. So many people say they see 11-11 everywhere. And that's because this is an era now of the divine feminine, where we're learning to be in the one of self, but also in the communion of being together. And so that's going to be beautiful as we move into that more and more. And I believe this is a harbinger of that, because your intentions are strong, or I shouldn't say they are strong, they have power on a new moon. So I'm going to invite you to hold a little ceremony, light a candle, do something in the earth if you can. Can you plant something? Can you plant something for this new moon ritual? I often say light a candle, and that's possible as well, but feels stronger if you plant something. And as you plant something, think of what you want in the area of love, in the area of your values, what you really value, in your money, not so much the business Saturnian type, but just your money, your abundance, your prosperity, okay? And what you want in your earthly pleasures, in your feminine energy of earthly pleasure. And also in beauty. What beauty do you want around you? How do you want to beautify your earth, your home, okay? So feel into that. This, what else do I want to say about that? It's an incredibly benevolent new moon. So it's a great time to plant some seeds or plant some plants if you want to already see them above ground. because we've got a trine of Pluto, which is trine to Taurus. We have a sextile to Neptune with this moon. We have Mercury is trine to Saturn. We have Mars is sextile to Uranus. And I'm not going to go into all the different meanings, but basically when you hear trine, that's the most positive, harmonious relationship other than conjunction. And conjunction can go either way. So really it is the most strong, harmonious relationship. It's just saying, ah, it's like, it's a chord, right? A trine, get these like 3 notes in a chord. That's what a trine reminds me of. Okay. So we're getting this trine, 2 trines and 2 sextiles, and sextiles are like lighter than a trine, but there's still harmony. And it's not that we just have these positive aspects happening, but there's like no real negative aspects in this new moon. So use this new moon to plant something new. What are you going to plant? And let it be in the area of love, values, money, and earthly pleasures. Okay, on the 13th, you're going to hear about this a lot in the astrological world. It's Jupiter going into Pisces. Now, Jupiter's going to come back out of Pisces, so it's only going to be in at this moment for 2.5 months. I say moment because that's a moment in astrological time. 2.5 months. During these 2.5 months, if you stay grounded, loving, focused, there's going to be so much potential for spiritual blessings and benevolence. And those spiritual blessings can even be material blessings. I mean, after all, we're still Sun in Taurus, even at the moment that it goes in. And it's also depending on where these planets, where this is happening in your personal, how it's transiting through your personal birth chart. So you might want to check that. But I just want you to be aware. Until from the 13th of May until July 28th, we have a window of spiritual possibility, of spiritual energy that's really big. Jupiter expands everything. So now we're talking crown energy. And if you know the chakras well, you know the crown, just like the color white contains all the other colors, the crown chakra contains all the other chakras. It's not above the other chakras like I'm better than you. It is the embracing of all that we are, of all the chakras. So it feels to me like anything is possible. Themes will be more spiritual, compassionate, understanding, bringing dreams into life, like big dreams, prosperity in all ways so that we feel good, we feel blissed, we feel happy, we feel alive. This is an energy ride that you can really fully be on in a positive way if you keep yourself grounded. As I always say in my chakra videos, when there's a lot of upper chakra energy, you want to make sure to stay grounded. Which is why this is super exciting, because it's happening beginning right in Taurus season when we're being invited to plant seeds, to be in the ground, to play with it, to touch it, to enjoy it, to appreciate it. And if you do, I feel like the blessings that unfold from this Jupiter in Pisces are going to be huge. All right, what else? 22nd. Okay, I've got 2 dates that I want to, just quick little warnings, especially the 22nd, okay? I just want you to be aware that on the 22nd, we've got Mercury in Gemini, of course, still in its domicile, squaring Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the ancient ruler of Pisces. Jupiter is the modern ruler of Pisces. Both are, we're talking 6th and 7th chakra. We're talking high energies, okay? So often Neptune can have a confusing effect. It can be like, if you've ever talked to someone and they're not fully on the ground, like maybe a homeless person in the park and they have a lovely heart, but they're not making sense, that is a marker of Neptunian energy. So Mercury is communication, Gemini is communication, and they're squaring. So there's this, what happens when you get this square is you can get a lot of confusion or delusion or misunderstanding. So if you're aware of this, you can say, okay, I'm not going to do the big discussions. I'm not going to, can you hear the airplane? I feel like it's going through the air and underlining this, because Gemini and Sagittarius, which I'm going to talk about more, are both travel signs. So I feel like the airplanes are helping us out here. If you can't hear it, take my word for it. It's going over right now, trailing off right now. And to me, just keep in mind, this is a time to just go. I rarely do this in the energy forecast, as you all know, but I want you to mark the 22nd as being, there's that double feminine energy again, 22. Just mark the 22nd as being more compassionate, more sound, clear. Watch misunderstandings, and watch being gullible or deluded or confused. Like, allow it to just, I don't have to know it right now if you don't have to know it right now. Okay? And don't make, in my opinion, it's not a good day to have big, important, intimate discussions or even business discussions or any big decisions, okay, that you would need to make. Which leads me into the 23rd, which is Saturn going retrograde on the 23rd. I don't have the time down here, but it's on the 23rd. And again, it might not be a good time to make business type decisions. On the days that the planets go retrograde or go back direct, that's when the energy is the strongest, and there could be a real kind of discombobulating energy around Saturnian things, which are wise business, just the smart decisions. Can you feel that? And you might not have good access to that. So you might just mark 22nd, 23rd, watch this time right in here to be more careful, more caring, more grounded. Yeah. Okay. I'm forging forward, you guys. This is going to be one of my fullest, most full forecasts, the quickest I can do it. On the 26th, we have a full moon, lunar eclipse. It is a total eclipse. It is the first of the year of 4, 3 of which are going to be related to Sagittarius and Gemini. And the first and last are actually the Sagittarius. So they're bookends in the year, in my opinion, which is interesting because Sagittarius is the South Lunar Node collectively right now. It's our collective soul lesson. What over faith have we had in things? What beliefs have we been carrying, just believing because they've been passed down? And Gemini is where we're moving, and there's lots of Gemini energy this month, is let me explore the options. Let me not make it black and white. Let me not just assume my old beliefs, but let me explore and ask and get curious and use all sorts of different media. Gemini goes and searches and finds different sources because Gemini doesn't like it black and white. Gemini is all over the place with things like it could be this way, it could be that way, it could be, there's an actor quality in the Gemini twins. Just like in acting, you have the twin faces on the acting symbol. Okay, does that land for you? So on this full moon, it's pretty positive. Again, we've got the sun is trine Saturn. We've got the moon is sextile Saturn. There's a Mars trine Neptune, harmonious with Neptune, and a Pluto trine Neptune. So it's deep energy. It's not intense as the Scorpio full moon at the end of April, but it's a deep energy. It's not like an explosive from the inside out, but it's a deep energy, and it's actually quite a positive type of energy. But it's an eclipse. It's an eclipse. An eclipse is it's a restart of some kind, and solar eclipses tend to be a big beginning, and lunar eclipses tend to be an ending. So something's ending, and also because it's the whole face of the full moon gets eclipsed, something is hidden. So I keep getting a sense that there's something here I can't know exactly. It might be related in some way to our soul lesson, misinformation. Sagittarius is related to travel and beliefs, and it's connected to Jupiter, of course, which is in Pisces at this time. It's got this crown energy. So something could be revealed around either Gemini energy or Sagittarian energy, spiritual or media-based, or both. Think of how those two could be together. But it just look allow yourself the few days after, because we can't always see it when it's obscured, but after the eclipse, allow yourself to really drop into what could emerge, what's hidden, seeing the hidden, like metaphorically look under the rug, look under things the next few days when that energy is powerful, but it's not blinding you completely. Okay? And then finally on the 29th, we have Mercury retrograde. You got to know about Mercury retrograde. This one's at 3:34. Oh, did I tell you that the lunar eclipse is at 4:13 p.m. Pacific? I don't remember if I said that. On the 29th, we have Mercury retrograde. Got to share the retrogrades with you. Now, the shadow period begins as early, depending on how you look at it. People interpret it differently, as early as like the middle of the month, the 15th. So it's actually already in play during that lunar eclipse. And that could be another thing that's obscuring, right? Mercury kind of already getting so close to being retrograde that it's already almost getting ready for a backwards movement. And at 3:34 p.m. Pacific, it's official, it goes into retrograde, and it's in Gemini. And what that means is that it's in its domicile. So that's really positive when it's moving forward, and it's can be positive when it's moving backwards. And again, it's never moving, it's how it appears to us. So I don't literally mean it's moving forward or backwards, but in relation to us on Earth is what I'm talking about. And the way I look at it is it's could be more snafus than usual, because Gemini is related to education, travel, communication, thinking, but not as much as Sagittarius is to travel like Sagittarius, like the big travel. Gemini is like the movement travel, like go over to a neighboring town, or it's like Gemini is here and Sagittarius is here, but all these energies are involved right now because we just had that lunar eclipse. So I feel like there could be maybe people just needing to go now and travel, and then we have snafus in the travel because we haven't been traveling. Like, how can they suddenly deal with us all? Or maybe there's the conflict of being told we can't travel, and yet there's this feeling inside that's so strong, I have to move, I have to go. So let me feel into this for a minute. The important thing on the full moon and on the Mercury retrograde is to feel into what you need around movement, around thinking, and around sources of information, and using yourself as your own authority, being aware of what's going on around you, but not overly taking on others' ideas or others' rules. Finding the creative ways to get movement. Like, I see a freedom here is so important. So how can you find your freedom? Now, normally you're told not to travel on a Mercury retrograde. So this could be a very small type of travel, but I have found that I travel a lot on Mercury retrograde. And the important travel is that you go inward on your travel, inward as well. So you're looking, you're reviewing, releasing, revisiting, repairing, refilling, there's just everything, absolutely anything you're doing during Mercury retrograde. And it's going to be more powerful because Mercury is at home, totally at home. It's empowered in Gemini. So this is going to be powerful when it goes through the 21st, goes direct again on June 22. So that'll be another day where there'll be a lot of energy. Don't sign anything or do anything on the day of. It's just good. Again, that day is just such a day of energy. Just notice, observe what's going on the 29th, if you can do that. Okay, that's it, guys. I am so happy that we've got this far, I think somewhat fast. I hope so. I just had a desire. Maybe it's that Mercury speed, fleet of foot, that's making me want to go faster this time. I'm shuffling the goddess cards. We're going to draw 2 goddess cards, one for the first half of the month and one for the second half of the month. And this is my 3rd shuffle. I'm sorry if that's really loud on the mic. I hope it was okay. And I'm going to put on my glasses for this one and share with you our first goddess card for the first half of the month. Irene, peace. There's no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. This is so perfect, especially with the Jupiter going into Pisces on the 13th, and our new moon on the 11th is just so benevolent. So we're being reminded, and I think we're being reminded that this piece, Irene, I'll show you the card, I'll put it up, but she's got water behind her and she's holding like grapes and it looks like what is corn and a baby. And I think this is saying, remember, again, we get our true peace, not from some kind of peace that is just up here out of body, you know, like, la, I'm just angelic realm, but rather we can get lots of peace, beautiful peace from being in harmony with earth. Because that's what the Taurian energy is asking us to do. The sun in Taurus through the 20th of this month is really asking us to do. And I particularly feel like that new moon in Taurus is. So it's a physical peace, an embodied peace. Make peace with your surroundings and with this earth. Okay, feel into that. It's very earthy. And then our next, second half of the month, be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. So it's Sekhmet. Sekhmet is, so this card, wow, when I see it, I'm just like, wow, she's strong. She's got a couple lions. There's a solar aspect to this card. There's a heart and earth aspect to the last card that we had. It's just Irene is peace, and you can feel it. There's a real sweet heart energy, but also earth. And here there's more fire and earth, fire and root. And I feel like we're being told you can start out and be more in the earth, in the play, in the love. And then as the month goes on, we need to get stronger and stronger. That lunar eclipses move us through something. They do require a certain amount of strength, and strength that is positive strength, belief, the energy of yes, just the energy of yes. So I'm going to invite you to draw in Sekhmet's strength and her yesness through that second half of the month. Remember, we have that challenge 22nd, 23rd. Then we have the lunar eclipse on the 26th. Sagittarian, very positive energy, but also an eclipse. You know, something's being hidden, something's going to end. And finally, Mercury retrograde that everyone usually turns into a bugaboo. But what's more important, it's our opportunity to go within for little over 3 weeks to revisit our patterns and make changes, become wiser. And you don't even need to make changes during that time, because it's not a time to start something new. You're just that whole time observing so you can make changes when we come out of it. Toward the end of June, the beginning of July, really, because you want to finish the shadow period. So that's the energy forecast, you guys. Can you feel it? So there's a sweeter, more heart-oriented, root-oriented, Taurus. There's even a lot of sacral. I said all that mutable energy with all those mutable signs. So there's a lower chakra up to heart feeling of just loving the earth in the first half of the month. There's an opening in the middle of the month toward the spiritual, and a lot of need for more strength and faith in the second half of the month. So, and it's not just faith, blind faith at all. Sagittarius is our south node. Again, I started to talk about this, which is that's our old collective way of being, to just trust, to just believe because it was. We are moving toward Gemini, which we get to practice a lot this month. Gemini, north node, is the movement of going toward learning, growing, getting more sources of information, allowing our beliefs to change and move. Okay, and Sag can let us do that because Sag is a mutable sign, but it does have this thing of tending to get entrenched when we do it collectively. So I feel like this lunar eclipse could be a chance to really begin to loosen some shared cultural beliefs that need to be let go of. Okay, particularly maybe around Taurian theme of Mother Earth and self-healing and our own connection to this planet and to each other. So that is your energy forecast for May 2021. If you liked it, please like, please share. I feel so blessed to have you guys on this journey with me, and I am sending you so much love for an amazing May. Bye for now.